You know, my friends, every once in a while you come across a gardening tool that just makes your work so much easier, ergonomic, and does a great job completing whatever task it is you're aiming to accomplish in the garden. And I recently picked up this tool known as a soil scoop. Apparently, these have been on the market for quite some time. But check this out. I'm getting ready to install a new blueberry bush here in my garden next to the pond, and this little tool here, it just does a wonderful job helping to excavate soil. And what's nice about it is that it has these serrated edges. They just cut through roots. You see right here, I've got a root popping in, just pulls it right out. But this is a wonderful little tool for installing plants, whether it's flowers, transplants. I mean, so easy to scoop out larger rocks and just continue to widen the hole if need be. See, they don't want you knowing how easy it is to begin to establish your own food crops in your yard, because if you do, everyone will begin doing it. If that's the case, you're going to become more self-sufficient, more self-reliant, and less dependent on the system. Anyways, thought I'd share it with you. Anything that I feel is going to make your gardening tasks easier and more enjoyable, I'm going to share with you on this channel. I've been doing quite a bit of reorganizing in this section of the garden, getting more perennials established. Tease those roots out a bit. And I'll dust those roots with some of this mycorrhizal inoculant. So as I was digging my hole here, excavating out some soil, I added in a couple amendments. One of them was this soil acidifier fertilizer. Blueberries like acidic soil, so I included some of that granular into my soil profile here. I also added in some of this amend, which I've mentioned in the past on the channel. Does a wonderful job helping to create a really nice soil tilth. Now this soil is really the result of years of doing the right thing. So I have very heavy clay soil here in my garden, and I include things like amend every time I'm digging a hole and planting something, and it really begins to pay off over time. As you can see, this is also due to the fact that I mulch this area of the garden with all sorts of products, wood chips, leaves, what have you. And as those products break down and then you work it into the native soil, you end up with stuff like this. And the last thing I added in was some azomite rock dust minerals. I'm going to add in a little bit more. Bring in those minerals so your plants can thrive, and in turn you will thrive when you eat the produce your plants produce. Minerals are really the foundation of a healthy life, healthy plants. Also, I always plant my potted plants a little high, a couple inches usually above the ground, because when they begin to settle, they always sink down about a couple inches. So rather than have a plant go too deep, especially a plant that likes good drainage, I put it up a little high. And as we water this in and it settles, it sinks down a little bit. And if you do have heavy clay soil, now would be a great time to add in a little bit of gypsum. My soil is looking great over here, but it won't hurt anything. Gypsum is especially effective when you have other materials that are breaking down, like wood chips or amend, that sort of product mixed in with the native soil. But it's going to help to create wonderful soil tilth as well as appropriate drainage, which is a challenge when you have heavy clay. So what I like to do if I have it is add a bit more of this amend product, kind of as a mulch at the end of my planting. So you can see it's like shredded wood chips. There's other good material in here as well, but this stuff breaks down relatively quickly, and it does leave behind a nice little thin layer of mulch around the planting. I just want to reiterate something, and that is, if you're unable to apply all these different tips that I just shared with you on this video because of the cost of the products or even availability, don't let that discourage you. For many years, towards the beginning of this project, I didn't do a lot of this stuff. I mainly just got my plants and seeds in the ground and got things growing. And at its very core, that's the beauty of gardening, growing your own food, fruits, vegetable, medicinals on your own property, is that it's so low cost and easy to perform. But as things develop and as you gain access to some of these other materials, if you can include it into your regimen, it does pay off. It's an investment. So there's one last thing to do here with the blueberry, and that is to protect it with one of these plant protection cages that I put together with a bit of chicken wire. This is some concrete reinforcement mesh, but you can build this out of anything really. I highly recommend doing this with young plants, especially if you have dogs running around, wildlife coming into the area. Just a temporary protection cage. As things get established, the plant begins to grow out, I just simply remove that. Well, that's going to do it for now, my friends. I've got a few more plants to plug in this evening. Nice day to be out in the garden. I hope you're able to find some time to get out to your garden today. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a good one. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.